Hey there, thank you for joining us on NTV AT One. My name is Gladys Gachanja. Now, members of the public transport sector say they will withdraw their services on Monday in order to comply with the traffic rules and guidelines. The government says that top regional and county officers will from Monday conduct a crackdown on public service vehicles that have not yet complied with traffic rules, famously known as the Mishuki rules. Now, our reporter Mel Miendo is on the beat and brings us the latest. Mel?
Gladys, just a few minutes ago, we had the meeting. It was actually a press conference by the Federation of Public Transport Sector. They basically comprise of Matatu owners, the Welfare Association, and it's across the country. They represent the interests of Matatu operators, their owners across the country. So the chairman, Edwin Mukabana, was speaking, and he actually said that come Monday, the 12th of November, all Matatus will be on a go slow. Now, we had asked as the media whether this will be a strike or not, but they did not give a specific answer to that. But we do know it is a go slow, and it is all Matatus, whether there are those that have complied to the standards, the regulations or not. So it's all of them. Right now we are at the Railway Matatu terminus, and as you can see, there are some Matatus that are actually still on the road. But come Monday, according to the Federation of the Public Transport Sector, this will be something different. Now, one of the things they are talking about and saying that they need clarification from the government, specifically Interior Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i. So the Federation is saying that they have to get clarification as to what these guidelines are and how they are supposed to comply to them. Now, we had asked as the media as to whether they will comply to all the standards or not, to all the regulations or not, and they said that they are willing to, but they must first dialogue with the government, and then after that dialogue is when they will call off the go slow that is supposed to start on Monday. And so also one of the other issues they're asking is with regards to Matatu conductors and drivers as to who should face violations or not, and also the yellow line that you see in many Matatus across the country. And so they're saying that the Matatu Act requires that this yellow line should be different from what the guidelines from Interior CS had mentioned. And so we want to now take you to what Edwin Mukabana had said earlier on at the Hotel Boulevard. Let's listen in.
We members of the Federation of Public Transport Sector would like to advise our members to withdraw public transport service provision on Monday, November 12, 2018, for purposes of aligning our operation to the new guidelines given out in yesterday's press statement. Meanwhile, we are seeking dialogue with the authorities with a view of getting clarification on new guidelines which we feel are unclear and discriminatory, noting that we had written to CS Transport and Infrastructure and are yet to receive an invitation. Matters we are seeking clarification are as such: charging vehicle owners and SACCO companies officials for traffic violations of driver or conductor, painting PSV vehicles white, all PSV vehicles white, introduction of continuous yellow line instead of a broken one on Matatus, replacement of speed governors with new ones even for those that are serviceable, uniforms for all PSV to be blue for drivers and maroon for conductors, even for bus operators and cooperates. That is the reason we are here, and that is the statement we have.
That's Edwin Mukabana, the chairman of the Federation of the Public Transport Sector. He was speaking at the Hotel Boulevard. And something that he also mentioned is on the issue of insurance. Now, remember, Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i had spoken on that yesterday. But today, the Federation refused to give a comment on that, saying that they will speak on this on a later date. So as I had mentioned, we are at the railway bus terminus and we'll be talking to some of the drivers and possibly also passengers just to get the feel of what Kenyans are saying with regards to these regulations, the Michuki rules that are being taken now again in force. And so we'll get that in our subsequent bulletins at 7 p.m. and at 9 p.m. Gladys.
Thank you. That is Mel Miendo speaking to us from the railway station. As you know, the Michuki rules will take effect on the 12th of this month. This is this coming Monday, and the PSV owners and the stakeholders have said they'll go on a go-slow, and a lot of clarification is needed in as far as those measures around the Michuki rules are concerned. But then again, the CS for Interior, Fred Matiang'i, was very categorical that they are going forward in implementing the Michuki rules come Monday. Well, to other day stories, a night guard at a hardware shop in Garissa was early this morning killed by unknown persons as he was preparing to conduct his early morning prayers. The thugs did not steal anything from the hardware shop despite successfully breaking in.
Shocked residents who were on their way to a nearby mosque claim they saw the night guard preparing for his early morning prayers, and after the prayers, they found him dead. According to an eyewitness, people on two motorcycles were seen fleeing from the scene.
Walivunja duka lakini hawakuiba kitu yote vile tunaona. Yani kwa pesa sidhani walishinda kuvunja ile safe ilikoko. Lakini bidhaa hatujui.
Askari ambaye inafanya rolling ya kuzunguka usiku na kuangalia hawa wezi wanatembea, hawatembei peke yao, wanatembea group. Lazima iangaliwe, serikali inalala. Tunaambia serikali iamuke.
The area MCA claims that this is the third murder targeting night guards in a span of 3 weeks.
On this incident, unfortunately, or the good part of it, there is a CCTV. Na tumeingia ndani tukaona they have not tampered with the CCTV. The screen is also there. So tunataka waharakishe hiyo uchunguzi, watuambie hawa watu ni kina nani.
One of the workers at the hardware accused boda operators for working with and transporting the criminals. Police say they are reviewing CCTV footage in a bid to establish the identity of the robbers who killed the guard. Halima Gongo, NTV.
Garissa County Commissioner Joshua Chepchieng says criminal elements from Isiolo County may be using what he termed as an imaginary borderline to attack villages in neighboring Garissa County. Armed bandit attacks on villages on the border between Isiolo and Garissa counties have increased in frequency, especially after the government announced that it will tarmac the Isiolo-Garissa road. The government says the attacks are aimed at discouraging settlements along the border towns.
Members of the Somali community dominate on the Garissa side of the border, and the Borona community is to be found on the Isiolo side of the border. Previously, the narrative has been that the two communities fight over pasture and water. However, boundary issues have emerged in recent years, leading to death and destruction. However, Garissa County Commissioner Joshua Chepchieng says the map is clear and there is no border dispute between Isiolo and Garissa County. He says criminal elements from Isiolo County are using an imaginary boundary dispute to raid villages in Garissa County.
There is no serious boundary dispute because the maps are clear. However, of late there have been cases of raiders victimizing some villages.
In the last 7 days, 4 people were killed in Lagdera, including 2 children, when suspected bandits raided Janju village.
However, also one raider was killed by security officers while they were by KPR while they were protecting the villagers.
Uvamizi haijaanza leo. Watu yetu kabla ya wiki moja walienda na mbuzi yetu, wakaua mtu yetu, wakatega nyara, wakaua upande wa Eastern katika sehemu inaitwa Barquqe. kabla ya hiyo walivamia katika mji inaitwa Kambi Samaki, wakaua watu wetu.
Sisi watu wetu wamekufa, hakuna kitu wameangalia, mali imeshukuliwa, watu wamekufa, wazee wamekufa, vijana wamekufa, watoto wadogo harika hiyo wameoa. Sasa tunabaki nini?
Garissa County Commissioner says at the moment the excuse of pasture and water competition is the past, calling for politicians to support peace and coexistence.
We don't have serious resource conflict at the moment because we still have a lot of water, we still have a lot of grass, so we don't see why the community should have conflicts in that area.
Politicians, wherever they are, who want to gain this political mileage, to stop, playing with the lives of the innocent people.
Certain politicians from Isiolo are blamed for backing and encouraging the bandits behind the attacks that claimed the life of innocent people in Lagdera sub-county.
Kuna viongozi kutoka Isiolo South wanachochea hii vita. Mara mingi tumesema na serikali inaelewa na hakuna hatua yoyote serikali inachukua. It has to do with political. You see, this road is being built, it's been tarmacked. These people's intention is to forcefully evict these settlements in Lagdera from the main road because of the economic benefits that it's attached to.
Garissa leaders want the government to start operations to completely disarm the militias to stop further attacks.
We are saying enough is enough. We cannot accept these people. The security team in Isiolo South must deal with these people with the decisiveness it deserves.
Tension remains high in settlement bordering Isiolo County, with the bandits roaming and attacking at will. Salah Mohammed, NTV, Garissa County.
And staying with security-related matters, grief enveloped Choge village in Talai, Baringo Central, when Lois Yatich, the wife of former Kakamega District Commissioner Paul Yatich, was laid to rest. Lois's badly mutilated body was found inside her house in Kiplombe in Eldoret on the 13th of October. Police are looking into crucial leads into her murder and have so far arrested 3 suspects, including a worker at her firm. Lois was to be buried at her husband's home in Baringo on the 24th of October, but relatives filed a case in court stopping her burial until investigations into her murder are completed. Before her death, she had served as a curriculum support development officer, and she leaves behind 7 children. A section of leaders led by Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko and nominated Member of Parliament Maina Kamanda have slammed the judiciary, accusing it of the death of former Nairobi Town Clerk John Maina Gakuo. The leaders spoke during the burial of the late Gakuo in Nyandarua County. The former town clerk died last week at the Mbagathi Hospital, where he had been rushed after developing health complications at the Nairobi West prison. He was serving a 3-year jail term after he was found guilty in the misappropriation of 283 million shillings during the acquisition of cemetery land in Mavoko.
Mwizi ambaye ana pesa Kenya hii hawezi akafungwa. Lakini mwizi wa kuku na mayai anafungwa. Na wewe ambao una pesa, hata wale ambao mnasikia Uhuru juzi akilia akisema judiciary, can you please jail these people? Hawatafungwa
kwa sababu kama na ilikuwa ni haki ya Gakuo kikatiba, wangelimpatia bond akiwa mgonjwa aende atibiwe, marehemu asingetuacha.
Opposition leader Raila Odinga has launched a 2.1 billion shillings housing project in Kiambu County geared towards the achievement of the Big Four agenda of affordable housing in the country, or rather in the country, now accompanied by Kiambu Governor Ferdinand Waititu. The 2 leaders maintained that such development projects meant to benefit the people can only succeed if there is peace in the country, as spearheaded by the Building Bridges initiative.
The former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, accompanied by Kiambu Governor Ferdinand Waititu, were in Thindigwa in Kiambu County to launch a 2.1 billion shillings housing project. The project is geared towards providing affordable housing to the residents in Kiambu County. Odinga has lauded the project, advising that land is useless unless used productively.
For people who are sometimes emotionally attached to land, they keep land for no productive purposes. You tell them that, look, your grandfather lived on this land, looked at it, their ways looking at it, and he died living it, and he died poor. Your father lived on it all for all those years and died poor. You're also going to try to protect it, you will also just die poor.
We support this development 100%. I'm very, very sure that after this housing unit is fully developed, the properties around this area will have increased in their value, and it is a great achievement for this county.
Odinga has acknowledged that Kenya and indeed Africa has a crisis of a young and vibrant workforce migrating to the cities where affordable and decent housing is lacking. Odinga says such development projects would succeed only when there is peace, as promoted by the Building Bridges initiative.
We are determined we will help to move the Kenya from where it is to where it should be by uniting all the people of our country, irrespective of their ethnic or socio-economic background.
Kiambu County government has vowed to ensure the project comes to fruition.
And I'll make sure that even garbage collection will also be offered in this area. And all the services that we offer to other residents, I'll make sure during my time that they are offered to this estate.
According to UN Habitat, half of the world's population already live in cities and project that the numbers could grow by 10%. Vincent Odur, NTV.
To health matters now. In recent days, the routine polio vaccination campaign has caused jitters among parents as a number of their children have complained about reactions to the oral vaccine. We spoke to the Global Immunization Department under the Center of Disease Control in an effort to find answers to the question, is a vaccine safe?
But in the WHO guidance language, there isn't anything specific that they list. It says it's well tolerated by recipients. There have been times where people have raised a question and they've been investigated, and it's maybe some statistics that look yes, no, but nothing has proved to be a situation. This would be not the first time they've seen this national response to try to keeping the wild type from coming back. Many campaigns are happening every year. It's not just Kenya. There are some studies that show that in areas where maybe nutrition is an issue or gastrointestinal issues, parasites, worms, all the things we do to deworming, they may be competing. And so there is evidence that increased number of doses are required in that situation. Two things. There's sometimes what I call the flagpole effect. Someone puts a flag up and people go, I didn't know there was a pole there. The pole's been there the whole time. It's only until we put the flag up that someone recognizes the pole is there. There are other things going on at the same time, and the polio vaccine might happen at the same time as these other flu or gastrointestinal or rashy illnesses. These happen pretty much year-round in the tropics, and we are on the equator. And when the vaccinators come because they're doing a supplement, let the family have the vaccine for the children, because the additional offers that extra security.
Kenyans, especially the youth, have been urged to visit museums in a bid to learn more about culture and heritage. Tourism Cabinet Secretary Najib Balala advised the youth during a conference organized at the University of Nairobi to advocate on the conservation of cultural heritage. The main agenda is to create awareness that art galleries and museums are repositories of human culture which allow representation of diverse ideas and therefore should be preserved. Kenyan museums and galleries were also challenged to be more appealing to more Kenyans.
we are very privileged to have a wonderful panel to digest, demystify, and to elucidate to us how rich we are in terms of our heritage and what steps we should make to realize the true value of these hidden treasures.
The only unfortunate part here in Africa is the whole wealth of culture and heritage and an innovative artistic knowledge that we have in the continent of Africa. Our image is only safari. The new generation, they want to connect. And they want to understand and read and probably contribute for betterment of that area.
Across the borders, the number of people killed when suicide bombers and gunmen struck a popular hotel in Somalia's capital has risen to 39 from the initial 22. At least 3 bombs exploded.